عليكم ورحمة الله. هناك حاجة ملحة إلى تثقيف العالم وتذكيره بالتاريخ الفلسطيني القريب والبعيد وبواقعه المرير والأخطار المتسارعة بسبب التطهير العرقي للفلسطينيين. ولعل مهرجان الأرض للأفلام الوثائقية في سردينيا يقدم تجربة فنية عميقة لتحقيق هذا الهدف. مع أن ماريا برنكاتو نتحدث عن مهرجان الأرض الايطالي وعما يساهم فيه من الداخل. معكم زينب صفار، تابعونا. لن يكون هناك سلام من دون عدالة، ولأن القضية الفلسطينية هي قضية حق وعدالة. بتنا نلمس في السنوات الأخيرة تغييرا في الرأي العام الغربي وميلا أكبر لديه لجهة فلسطين. لعقود من الزمن اصطف الكثير من الدول الأوروبية إلى جانب إسرائيل، وذلك لتعاطفهم مع اليهود إثر ما عرف بالهولوكوست النازية. بيد أن القمع الإسرائيلي الوحشي والهمجي للشعب الفلسطيني جعل هذا الدعم يتآكل شيئا فشيئا، حتى بات اليوم العديد من المواطنين الأوروبيين يساندون القضية الفلسطينية إلى أقصى حد. ومنذ الاحتلال الإسرائيلي للضفة الغربية وقطاع غزة تنامت المعارضة الأوروبية، وكرس عدد من الناشطين الأوروبيين حياته لإماطة اللثام عن جرائم إسرائيل. فانطلقت حملات المقاطعة، وقد كانت جوهرية وفعالة في إثارة الوعي الدولي، ولا سيما على صعيد القواعد الشعبية حول مأساة الفلسطينيين وقضيتهم المحقة. ولعل إيطاليا كانت رائدة في دعمها لفلسطين على المستوى الأوروبي. أن ماريا برنكاتو من جمعية الصداقة الفلسطينية السردينية ومن بين المنظمين الرئيسيين لمهرجان الأرض للأفلام الوثائقية تطلعنا على تفاعل الناس في إيطاليا مع القضية الفلسطينية، وعلى ما أضافه مهرجان الأرض إلى تلك القضية وحرصهم على رفع مستوى الوعي فيما يتعلق بمعاناة الشعب الفلسطيني. وتشرح مدى استثنائية هذا المهرجان وكيفية تعدد فروعه، وماذا عن العامل المشترك بين النضالين الإيطالي والفلسطيني من أجل الاستقلال والحرية. أنا ماريا برنكاتو, member of the Palestine Sardinia Friendship Society and one of the prime organizers of the الأرض Film Festival. Welcome to الداخل from the inside.
Thank you. شكرا زينب.
You're always welcome. أهلا وسهلا. Well, الأرض Documentary Film Festival, it is an international festival of documentary cinema, both Arab and Palestinian cinema in particular. Tell us more about this cultural event.
Well, الأرض Film Festival is the most popular event organized by Associazione Amicizia Sardegna Palestina in Cagliari, the main city of Sardinia.
Sardinia.
Yeah, and this year has reached the 14th edition, so we are growing every year. And it is very important because it is a unique opportunity for the population, Italian population and Sardinian population, to reach some information about Palestinian people, about Palestine in general and Arab world. So people try to follow us every year in every event, even because we organize workshop with students, university and school, secondary school students, and also with teachers. And so we are.
But I want you here, Maria, to tell me more about the interaction of the people of Cagliari, Sardinia, but more also about the people in Italy in general.
Oh.
Do they travel, for example, to attend your festival?
Yes, of course. And over the years, the attendance of the festival increased a lot from all over Italy, because we have some let's say usual visitors that come from Rome, for example, or Milan. And this year we have also a delegation from Florence, I think, because they organize a festival and we are...
How do they know about the film festival?
Well, we are working...
Is it very popular inside Italy?
Yes, I think so, because we are working hard on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we are trying to reach young people in particular, young film directors, young students also, or people who are interested in Palestine issues. So we are trying to spread the message, in particular in social media. So
right, and maybe this is the fastest way to do it today.
Yeah, yeah.
But there seems to be, Anna, that there was a kind of not so recent only relationship between Italy and Palestine when it comes to the filmmaking and the cinema.
Yeah.
Because back in the 60s, there is an old relationship between Italy and Palestine concerning particularly documentary films, particularly, between the years 2000 and 2012, they produced around 59 films.
Yeah.
What has Al-Arض Film Festival added to this case?
Yes. Well, I think between Italy and Palestine there is a strong relationship. I don't know, maybe it's a question of blood, and it is a very strong relationship. And what Al-Arض add to this tradition, I think, is the voice of youngest, because lots of Palestinian boys and girls are trying to use cinema to convey a message that it is not only about fighting, but it is a message of culture and education also. So it is very important this
connection.
Yes, the connection between young Palestinians and Arabs also.
Right. How many films usually participate in the Al-Arض Film Festival, and what is the criteria when it comes, to rating movies and the jury and the judges?
Okay. Well, this year we choose around 30 films, chosen among more than 70 films that have participated in the first selection. And well, the criteria to choose the films are, of course, originality and technical qualities. But the most important thing is the message they convey. For example, if we talk about Palestinian film, the important thing is that the film highlights the occupation and the apartheid situation in Palestine. So it has to show the real situation of Palestinians. At the same time, if the film speaks about another Arab countries, the important thing is that it shows the human rights, the question of human rights.
Did you have any other movies from other parts of the Arab world, like the different conflict zones, whether in Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Bahrain?
Well, this year we have some films from Morocco, so the question of Sahrawi, for example.
Yes.
And Tunisia also. But
Libya?
Libya, we received something, but
what about Iraq and Syria?
No,
Nothing.
Not this year, but we had something that explained also the situation in Syria. And,
right.
Yes, yeah.
Tell us about also the jury, for example.
Yeah.
Are they so much well aware of, the history of Palestine, the history of the occupation, and all the various themes going on in the Arab world?
So let's say that we have two juries. One is the jury of the experts, so some experts from Palestine and from Arab world in general, as Ibrahim Nasrallah, the poet and writer. Monica Maurer, she is an expert in Palestinian cinema. She worked in the archive of Palestine. And Wasim Dahmash also. And some of the professors from University of Cagliari, which are interested in cinema and in Palestinian issues. For what concerns the second jury is the jury of the audience. So after they see all the films, they can judge and assign also a prize. Of course, for the jury...
Do they have this thing like, is like what the taste of the people, what they would like, is a variable when it comes to judging any movie that takes part in the film festival, in Al-Arض Film Festival? Like, for example, you have in Italy a certain kind of inclination towards certain type of movies, or you just concentrate on the message?
Well, we try to concentrate on the message, and also, of course, on some techniques. Let's say that people in general prefer movies that are not so slow, for example, and they try to give message directly. So, I think that short films are favorite instead of long documentary, but we don't know because every year
it's different.
Taste,
Yes.
yes.
Now, how do you rate الأرض Film Festival today? I mean, concerning the type of movies that propose to you and the kind of jury that you have.
Okay, so let's say that the majority of the movie we have are documentaries and short film. And as I told you before, it has grown over the year because we made a lot of work to make art better and more famous also. And also I noticed that international directors are keen on participating in Al-Ard. Someone participated more than once, for example, and even youngest film directors try to search visibility in participating in Al-Ard. So,
Anna Maria, I want you to tell me about how exceptional is Al-Ard Film Festival in terms, of having various branches to it.
Yes. This year in particular is the third year we managed to move Al-Ard from Cagliari, the main city, to other places of Sardinia, because let's say that our activities are concentrated on Cagliari, and sometimes other people that live in other part of Sardinia can't come to visit Cagliari every event we made. So it's the third year we can move Al-Ard to other places. And for example, last year we managed to screen some films of Al-Ard in Naples, Rome, Turin and Venice. So we are...
Do you have also other branches but outside Italy?
Outside Italy, for the moment, no. We are always in contact with other organizations in Lebanon or in Amman, for example, and we try to exchange. Even when someone asks for a film, for example, we are always available to...
Anna Maria, do the movies that take part in the Al-Ard Film Festival take part in other film festivals?
Yes, it is possible, of course. One of the things we ask to filmmakers is that it has to be, how can I say, it has to be the first time in Sardinia that we show the film.
So the avant-garde has to be in Sardinia.
In Sardinia,
the
yes,
debut
of course.
in Sardinia, and then
yes. But lots of film won a lot of prizes in other international festivals and so on. So.
Right, allow us, Anna Maria Bruncato, to stop now for a short break, and then afterwards we're going to talk a bit about how the local and the international media cover Al-Ard Film Festival, but after the break.
Oh, okay.
إذا فاصل قصير ونعود، لا تذهبوا بعيدا. أنا ماريا برنكاتو من المنظمين الرئيسيين لمهرجان الأرض للأفلام الوثائقية في سردينيا، تحدثنا أكثر عن التغطية الإعلامية المحلية والعالمية لهذا الحدث الفني الثقافي.
We have, of course, space in local newspaper, radio and TV. Also, online magazine give us some spaces and talk about the festival. For what concerns international coverage, I think this is one of the first interviews made by an international channel. But I can say that Ibrahim Nasrallah, for example, wrote some articles about the festival some years ago, so obviously because he
And we at Al-Mayadi, we are so happy to be talking about this event.
Thank you.
Maybe because certain kind of media outlets, they don't want to be interested in such kind of festivals that have at the core of them the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian suffering as the message to be delivered by the documentary films. Now, there is always Anna Maria, a need to educate the public about the history of Palestine, its present-day realities, and the real danger of Israel accelerating its ethnic cleansing of Palestinians in the future. How do you go about this, Maria? I know that you are so active in this sense.
Yes, well, it is not easy at all, even because we have to struggle with the mainstream information. So we have a lot of propaganda, of course. But I think that trying to inform people with films, documentaries, something easy to see and to understand is better, because you can raise awareness without imposing your vision of the thing. So you create debate, and I think it is very important. You create curiosity also, because our audience is not always experts on Palestinian issues. So it is a way to make people close to Palestinian issue and to try to inform, just to understand how to view something from another perspective. So.
Apart from the film festival, what other activities have you embarked on in order to make the history of Palestine and the plight of the Palestinians and the suffering of the Palestinians and all the atrocities committed against the Palestinians clearer to the people in not only Sardinia but also across all Italy?
Yes, we are involved in, for example, organizing the Israeli Apartheid Week, an international event inside university. So it is an event that more or less is going to happen in contemporary with other universities in Europe and all over the world. And during this week, we organize, for example, workshop or seminars with professors sometimes, and with experts of, for example, we choose an issue, a theme, and we try to develop it with some experts' voice. For example, in Sardinia we have the problem of the NATO military bases, and an event like the Israeli Apartheid Week give us the opportunity to join together the two issues. So Palestinian apartheid, because as you know, IDF come to military bases to train, so we can join together the Palestinian issue and the Sardinia problem. So we try to join the, and then we organized presentation.
Something you talked also about the humanitarian perspective of the cause, which is also very important.
Yes, it's very important, but at the same time we don't have to focus only on the humanitarian issue.
I will ask you about this issue, which is a very important thing, not to focus only and try to minimize the Palestinian cause into just a humanitarian issue and shedding tears and, you know, getting emotional and so on and so forth. Anna Maria, don't you think that the presence of a Zionist state, therefore colonialist and racist, also as an apartheid regime, is the real cause of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and is an obstacle towards a lasting peace, towards a peace that everyone is looking for, and also the implementation of the right of return of the Palestinians?
Not only the Zionist state, but also Zionist ideology, because one of the main aims of Zionism since its origin was the transfer of Palestinians outside Palestine. And I think it is very important to remember it, even because if politics continue on ignoring this point, we can't solve the main Palestinian problem, that is the problem of refugees. So,
as one of the organizers of art film festivals, as a person who is very active in the Palestinian cause in Italy, in the Israeli Apartheid Week, and also in the various workshops focusing on various issues related to Palestine, you are here in Tehran in the 6th International Conference in support of the Palestinian Intifada. Don't you believe today that more needs to be done concerning the Palestinian cause?
Yes, of course. It's a long road, I think. But these kind of events are very useful for us because as international, we can see how Palestinian issue is treated in the Arab world and how we can continue in Western countries, let's say. So we can try to make a comparison between the two. Even, for example, as I told you, I am a PhD student and I'm involved in research on historiography of Israel. So I'm trying to understand how Israel convey his message, ignoring Palestinian history. And I think it could be a very important point to see how history has been narrated in Arab world and how now Arab world is facing Palestinian problem, and how different is the approach in Western society, even because the narration was different. So I think these kind of events are very important, just to meet,
to get the people together and exchange the ideas. Now, with all your limited political and organizational forces in Italy, yet you were always keen on raising awareness of the plight of the Palestinians, as we said, through various initiatives, conferences, events, festivals, workshops, etc. Can you give us more highlights?
Yes, so as I told you before, it's not easy. But in Italy we have this strong relation that allows us to be strong and to be keen on organize every kind of event, so presentation of books, conference, and I'd like to say that the majority of these events are organized by volunteers. So it is very important also
to make the people feel this sense, volunteering in such kind of work. Now, my last question for you, Anna Maria. On April 25th, 1945, Italy was liberated from fascism. Today, after 72 years, how do you combine between the struggle for liberation in Italy back then and the struggle of the Palestinians to liberate their land?
Yes, today? I could say that the word that can join together these two events is resistance, because both people were fought against an occupation. One of the difference between the two events, I think, is that Zionist occupation is one of the longest occupation in history. So it is a great point to focus on. But I think resistance is the key of the...
Any forms of resistance?
Yeah, any forms of resistance, of course, because, as you know, there is also a kind of cultural resistance, and I think it is as important as the resistance in places.
Right, Anna Maria Bruncato, member of the Palestine Sardinia Friendship Society and one of the prime organizers of الأرض Film Festival. Many thanks indeed for joining us.
Thanks to you.
You're always welcome, Anna Maria. إذا لقاء جديد في الأسبوع المقبل مع ضيف جديد وقضية جديدة ودائما من الداخل. للمزيد من التواصل بريدنا theinside@almayadin.net وصفحتنا على الفيسبوك من الداخل، من كل فريق عمل من الداخل من كل الميادين من طهران. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.